Our Chapter 1, A Lake's Serenity. Alex and Mia appeared to be the embodiment of young love to any outside observer. Their lives unfolded in a comforting rhythm around Lake Serenity, a place that seemed to breathe with their shared joy. Mornings began with steaming cups of coffee on the porch, while the sun painted the lake with golden strokes. Evenings were reserved for leisurely walks along the shore, hand in hand, their laughter echoing across the calm water. They had built a life that seemed both solid and magical, a haven from the uncertainty raging beyond the lake. The centerpiece of their story, a shining testament to their bond, was a heart-shaped pendant Mia wore. It wasn't just a piece of jewelry, it was a symbol, a tangible representation of the promises they whispered to each other on their first anniversary. On that day, 1 year after their relationship began, Alex surprised her with a lakeside picnic. The sun was particularly generous, warming their faces as they shared sandwiches and dreams. Flashback. Close your eyes, Alex said, a playful sparkle in his eyes. Mia, always willing to join in his little games, complied. She felt him fiddling with something around her neck, and the sudden touch of cold metal contrasted against her warm skin. Okay, open! Before her, hanging on a delicate silver chain, was a heart-shaped pendant. It wasn't extravagant, but its simplicity held a deep beauty. Happy anniversary, Alex said, his voice filled with emotion. This, this is for everything. For now, for always. Mia's eyes widened. It's beautiful, Alex. It's a promise, he explained, gently clasping the pendant. A promise that no matter what happens, we will always find our way back to each other, that our love will be strong enough to withstand any storm. She turned and hugged him tightly. I promise too, she whispered into his chest, forever. The pendant became a constant presence, a silent guardian of their shared dreams, pressing against her skin. Those dreams were vivid and ambitious. Marriage, of course, was a given, a natural evolution of their love. They spoke of a small, intimate ceremony by the lake, surrounded by their closest friends and family. Children were also part of the plan, a noisy home filled with laughter and the chaos of tiny feet. They even envisioned a shared career, perhaps opening a small bookstore and cafe together, a paradise for book lovers and caffeine addicts alike. One evening, sitting on the horizon, threatening to shatter the serenity they had so carefully cultivated. Chapter 2, Whispers of Doubt. A few months drifted by, marked not by grand events but by the subtle erosion of shared moments. Alex, once an eager participant in their lakeside rituals, began prioritizing work. He took on extra projects, citing the need to secure their future, the future they had so meticulously planned together. Mia noticed the shift. It wasn't a dramatic departure, but a gradual fading, like a photograph left too long in the sun. The easy banter that had filled their small apartment was replaced by the tapping of his keyboard late into the night. Morning coffee on the porch became a solitary affair for Mia. Alex already gone. A quick kiss on the forehead, his only acknowledgement. The changes weren't just in his schedule. His eyes, once pools of unwavering affection when he looked at her, now seemed to glance past, preoccupied. Phone calls grew shorter, punctuated by hurried excuses and promises to call back later. Promises often broken. A general sense of detachment emanated from him, a subtle barrier erected between them. Mia felt it keenly, a chill in the air, where warmth had always resided. Then there was Sarah, a new colleague of Alex's. She worked in the research department. Mia had met her briefly at a company function, a woman with sharp eyes and an even sharper intellect. Alex had mentioned her a few times, praising her innovative ideas and her unconventional approach to problem solving. He admired her, he said, her ability to challenge conventional thinking. Mia hadn't thought much of it at the time, dismissing it as professional admiration. But as Alex's detachment grew, Sarah's name surfaced more frequently in their conversations, a subtle undercurrent of fascination in his voice. Sarah challenged Alex. Where Mia offered comfort and stability, Sarah offered intellectual sparring and philosophical debates. They would discuss complex theories late into the night. Alex energized by the exchange of ideas. He found himself drawn to her perspective, her ability to see the world in shades of gray, a stark contrast to Mia's unwavering black and white. Sarah made him question everything, including the very foundations of his relationship with Mia. Mia, sensing the growing distance, tried to bridge the gap. She planned romantic evenings, cooking his favorite meals, setting the table with candles and flowers. She suggested weekend getaways to their favorite spots, hoping to rekindle the spark that had once burned so brightly. But Alex seemed distant, preoccupied, making excuses to cut their evenings short or postpone their getaways. He was physically present, but emotionally absent, a ghost in their shared life. Maybe we can go next weekend, he'd say, his eyes fixed on his phone, his voice devoid of genuine enthusiasm. I've got a lot on my plate right now. Mia would force a smile, masking her disappointment. Of course, she'd reply, her voice barely a whisper. Work is important. But deep down, she knew it wasn't just work. It was something more, something she couldn't quite put her finger on. One afternoon, consumed by anxiety, Mia confided in her best friend Chloe over coffee. Chloe, practical and grounded, listened patiently as Mia poured out her fears and insecurities. He's just been so different lately, Mia said, stirring her coffee absently. Distant, preoccupied, like he's not really here. Chloe raised an eyebrow. Maybe you're overthinking things, she said, her tone gentle but firm. You guys have been together for a long time. It's normal for things to ebb and flow. I know, Mia sighed, but it feels different this time. It feels like something is off. Have you talked to him about it? Chloe asked. Mia shook her head. I've tried, she said, but he just brushes it off, says I'm imagining things, that he's just stressed about work. Chloe frowned. Well, maybe he is, she said, but if you're really concerned, you need to sit him down and have a serious conversation. Don't let it fester. Mia nodded, knowing Chloe was right, but a part of her hesitated. She was afraid of what she might find, afraid of confirming her worst fears. Honestly, Mia, Chloe continued, leaning forward conspiratorially, sometimes I wonder what you even see in him. He's always been so predictable. You deserve someone who can keep up with you, someone who challenges you. Mia bristled slightly, defensive of Alex despite her doubts. He's not predictable, she said, her voice sharper than she intended. He's stable, and I like that. Chloe shrugged, unconvinced. Just saying, she said, don't settle for less than you deserve. Mia left the coffee shop feeling more confused than ever. Chloe's words echoed in her mind, adding to the growing unease she felt about her relationship. Was she overthinking things, as Chloe suggested? Or was her intuition trying to tell her something? Meanwhile, Alex wrestled with his own internal turmoil. He found himself increasingly drawn to Sarah's intellect, curiosity, and her willingness to challenge his preconceived notions. He admired her independent spirit, Her refusal to conform to societal expectations. She represented a world of possibilities, a world free from the constraints of commitment and obligation. He found himself questioning everything he thought he knew about himself, about his desires, about his future. Was he truly happy with Mia, or was he simply comfortable? Was he living the life he truly wanted, or was he simply following a path that had been laid out for him? He spent hours lost in thought, contemplating questions of free will versus determinism, of individual identity versus societal expectations. He questioned the very nature of love and commitment, wondering if it was possible to truly promise forever, as he had once done with Mia. Is it possible to truly know what you want, what you'll want for the rest of your life? He wondered, staring out the window at the city lights. Are we destined to change, to evolve, to outgrow the people we once loved? He remembered the day he had given Mia the heart-shaped pendant, the symbol of their unbreakable bond, their promise of forever. He had meant it then, with every fiber of his being. But now, months later, the promise felt like a weight around his neck, a constant reminder of the expectations he had placed upon himself. Am I trapped, he wondered, his heart pounding in his chest. Am I living my life, or am I simply fulfilling a role? He knew he was hurting Mia, that his detachment was causing her pain, but he felt powerless to stop it, caught in the grip of his own existential crisis. He justified his behavior as a search for his true self, a necessary exploration of his own desires. Maybe this is what I need, he told himself, clinging to the illusion of control. Maybe this is the only way I can figure out who I really am. But deep down, he knew he was lying to himself. He knew that his actions were not a search for self-discovery, but a betrayal of the woman he had once loved. And the guilt gnawed at him, a constant reminder of the promise he had broken.